The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. There's some housekeeping
Morning, sir.
instruction to all the participants. I request all the participants to mute the audio of their device. If you have any questions, you can post your questions in a chat window. We will bring up your questions during the presentation. After every 20 minutes of the speaker session, we have kept 2 minutes for to bring up these questions. Of course, at the end of this webinar, we have separately kept 5 minutes for question and answer session. There is a small icon of hand in the control panel of all the participants. You can also click on that hand icon just to raise your question. After you click the this raise question icon, we will unmute your speaker and then you can ask the question to the speaker. Of course, apart from this, the participants, they will receive the certificate of participation after the 24 hours from the end of this webinar. So these are some housekeeping instructions. Good morning everyone again. So now it's time to welcome all the dignitaries. So without wasting time, the galaxy of intellectuals, Honorable Principal Dr. S. Patil, Vice Principal Professor N.V. Deslesa, the Head of the Information Technology Department, Dr. V.R. Sonone, our Training and Placement Officer, Mr. Vineet Devresta, our today's keynote speaker, Mr. Kushal Bhatt, my companions, students and faculties from Nashik, Aurangabad, Jalgaon, Vadodara, then Indore and Pune. It is indeed my privilege to extend to you all a very warm greeting on behalf of Maratha Vidya Prasarak Samajas, KBT College of Engineering, Nashik. It's my pleasure to welcome you all for the today's webinar on New Horizons in Transforming Career Development. With this welcome note, I would like to request our head of the department, Dr. V.R. Sonone sir, for his opening remark. V.R. Sonone sir. Sir, you are not audible. Sir, your speaker is low. Sir, please increase your voice.
Okay.
Sir, please start.
Now, sir. Hello, sir.
Yes, sir, it's audible.
Respected Principal Dr. Ines Patil, sir. Vice Principal Desle, sir. Our placement coordinator, Devre, sir. Resource person of today's webinar, Mr. Kushal Bhatt, sir. Associate Director, ACO General, Bangalore. The person who have taken the great effort to make this webinar successful, Uzgare, sir. All staff of IT department and all my dear student friends. On behalf of KBT College of Engineering, I would like to welcome you all in this today's webinar, New Horizons in Transforming Career Development. Department of IT tried to organize various live webinar on various topics during this lockdown period. Friends, everything is available on the internet, but the objective of such webinar is to make students known, aware that what is important to them and how to make the use of available resources. So I would like to all the students, friends, that we will continue this series of webinar and we'll always try to give best to our students. Thank you one and all, and thank you, Uzgare sir.
Thank you, sir, for your encouraging words. Now, I would like to request the man of distinct vision and the fountainhead of the illuminating ideas, Professor N.V. Desley, sir, for the keynote address. I request Desley, sir, to unmute your sound, and sir, you can please proceed for your keynote address. Desley sir, I request you. Okay, I will add Desley sir. Okay. Sir, you are audible. Please go ahead, sir. I request Vice Principal Professor N.B. Desley sir. Sir, please unmute your sound. You have unmuted your sound and you are audible, sir. Sir, I made you presenter. Now you are audible, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, go ahead. You have unmuted your sound. Sir, please unmute your speaker. I request, sir, if you hear me, sir, I request you to please unmute your speaker. Please unmute your audio of the device. Yes. Sir, you have self-muted your device audio. Okay, sir might be troubling with some technical difficulties. So till
Yes. Sir, maybe having some range issue.
Okay.
He yesterday told me.
Okay, no problem, sir. So till the time he will come online, I will request our another man of inspiration for many of us, and will continue to remain so. Our training and placement officer, Mr. Vineet Devre, sir. Sir, I request you to address these aspiring minds and the budding engineers on this occasion. Sir, please.
Thank you, Usgir sir. First of all, on behalf of the complete group of MVP, I would like to welcome the guest of honor today, Kushal Bhatt sir. Thank you for making time for this webinar, sir. It's pretty important, as Usgir sir already said, that yes, there are many things which are available online, but then yes, the human touch has to be there, and that's the reason by this, at least by a webinar, we could make it through. I would not take much of time. Of course, we have a lot to hear from you. But then, on the part, as a training and placement officer, I wanted to come up with certain 3 to 4 points, which I expect, somehow expect from this webinar, seeing the tagline. Sure. First of all, starting, giving you a highlight, what exactly this region or what exactly we, as a college or institute, are really doing to get students, means not only about, when we are talking into this times, but then usually what we have been doing is the very most uppermost part. I myself come from an HR background, and hence I think soft skills is something which is majorly missing out. Students are missing out from our regions, and this is what is really we are concentrating upon. And again, as you two are from the same background, you could, of course, I could expect some highlights onto soft skills. The second thing is talking about future plans. Students are really getting worried about not only the students who are studying into their final year right now, but also who are into already, who will get, who are just passed out and who will be passed out in 2021. The concern is here is because of this calamity which has come upon us. And I would like to, especially onto the companies who are into IT sectors, because I have been interacting with many people and HRs around whoever have come for placement drives at our locations, and the feedbacks what I hear from them is that nothing is going to change, and in fact there would be a lot of better opportunities than that. So I would also like to hear something about that from you, sir. That's my one of the expectations. Talking about the futuristic goals, then I see better opportunities for students. Like for an example, recently I spoke to HR person from TCS, and then I see that 50 to 55% of their current employees have already been told to work from home for next 1.5 year already, whatever the situation might be. So what would be the better opportunities in the HR perspective? What we could expect these students really to grasp up with, so that they could come up with better solutions and better ideas to cope up with the current scenario. That's it from me. Anything from me would be required. Kushal sir, please let me know. I'm there continuously on this session. Thank you so much for giving an opportunity to speak. Kushal Bhatt sir, once again, thank you so much for being with us and guiding us all through. All of you, stay healthy, stay safe. Thank you.
Thanks, sir, for your words of wisdom. We always expect your support, and you are always there behind us. Thanks for your encouraging words. I think that
Welcome.
The vice principal Desley sir is struggling with his audio, so I'll just request him once again. Sir, your audio.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Am I audible now? Okay.
Yes, sir.
So, good morning once again to all of you on the behalf of this Maratha Vidya Prasark Samaj, KBT College of Engineering, and the Department of Information Technology. I welcome Kushal sir and all the participants, and I'm sure that all will be benefited by using this webinar and find new horizons to find the new careers and new hopes after COVID 2019. So thank you, Department of Information of Technology, for organizing this webinar, and I extend my best wishes to all the participants. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your inspiring and a thought-provoking address.
You can continue.
We admire your spirit of integrity and also the dedication to the field of education. Thanks a lot, sir. Now, it gives me immense pleasure, rather I feel proud to introduce today's keynote speaker, who is my student of 2009 batch, Mr. Kushal Bhatt. So Kushal has done his BTech in computer science from Government College of Engineering, Aurangabad, and he did his master's from Tata Institute of Social Science in Business and Administration. He started his career with the Cognizant, and soon he became the team leader in Cognizant. He has done various internships in the renowned companies like KPMG, Citibank India, Philips, Siemens, and Volvo India. He has a rich and a diverse experience of HR business partner in product and technology and analytics in a big giants companies like Snapdeal, Bayer, HRBP, to name a few. Presently, he is working as Associate Director, Human Resource in ACO General, Bangalore. I know the audience are eagerly waiting to listen him. So without wasting time, I hand over the presentation to Kushal. Kushal, please. I'll just change the presenter so that you can share your screen.
Sure.
Yeah.
So is my screen visible?
Not yet. Yeah, it's visible. It's visible.
Perfect. Great. I will just get it away. Okay, great. Hello everyone. I'm Kushal, and thank you, Ujgere sir. Thank you, Mr. Deore. Thank you everyone. Thank you all the panelists for this warm welcome. It feels a little nostalgic and also a little overwhelming to be a panelist where Ujgere sir is on the other side, because I remember about a decade back, he was my teacher, and I was like in complete awe of him, and he was the first person who in a way saw a bit of a spark in me and motivated me in whatever shape and form and helped me become this, what I have become today. So I welcome all of you. In the beginning of this week, around Monday, Tuesday, when I got a call from Ujgere sir around being a speaker, I was in a bit of an awe and also a bit excited, because I personally don't consider myself to have done so much in my life that I've become a speaker for an event like this. But it's all because of Mr. Ujgere that he thinks that I am capable enough of delivering a keynote speech on a topic like career development. I feel really privileged and humbled at this point of time. I will try to do my best in terms of whatever learnings and experiences I have had. I would like to cascade it down to each and every individual who is a part of this webinar. So thank you for that, Ujgire sir, and let's begin with career development as a topic. Now, career development. It's career as a word sounds to be a very, very intriguing word, right? Career, it's a vast journey. People at times mistake career for jobs, which is not the case. Career and jobs are very, very different, and they are very, very. These terms are evolving in the times that we are living in. As Mr. Deore said about in the times that we are living in, Corona specifically, the whole meaning of career, the meaning of jobs will change. New jobs will emerge. Old jobs may become obsolete. So we are living in a very, very different time. Work from home will become the new normal, as said by Mr. Deore, because work from home will now become a reality in a sense that it will start making more sense for companies to have employees working from home than come to offices. It may have started as a precautionary measure against Corona, but slowly and slowly, organizations are understanding the pearls of making employees work from home. They are understanding the fact that with employees working from home, their entire cost on facilities, managing big corporate houses will come down. So if I have to believe, I believe that in the coming decade or so, work from home will emerge as a new reality for all of us, and it's something that we all should be geared up to. Now since we are talking about career development, I would also like to talk about my own career. Even though Ujgire sir has given a very descriptive announcement of my career achievements, but I would also like to start my career or introduction of my career through failures. I believe it's important that in times that we are in, especially in Corona times, where all of you are a little hesitant of your future, there you are uncertain of what will happen, what future has to unfold for you. It's important to look back at my failures and also let you know journeys are not only about successes, or they're not only about career milestones. A journey of an individual or a journey of a professional can also be talked about in failures. So let's start how did my journey as an individual begin with? Let's start from my childhood only. And I want to talk about all my entire journey and the milestones being my failures than my success points. So my journey started with the failure of being a studious child. My parents always wanted me to be a studious child. They wanted me to be an engineer. They wanted me to be good in maths, physics, science. On the other hand, I was good at English, history, geography, arts. So failed being a studious child for my parents. That was my first introduction to life because I wanted to be something else. My family and my parents wanted me to be somebody else. I was forced into becoming an engineer, even though I wanted to pick up history and English and literature. But that was my first introduction in terms of how a career pans out. So that's my first failure of not being a studious child. The second failure that once you get into engineering and you pick up science and maths as an important subject in your class 11th, all your family, everybody you know, they expect you to crack an IIT. So I also went through a rigorous training of about 3 years to clear IIT. I had all the resources at my disposal. I had gone to one of the premier institutes in India for preparation of IIT. Didn't get through, so failed miserably in becoming an engineer, especially getting into IIT. It shattered me. So that was my second failure on life, a major failure, where I failed to get into IIT in spite of all the resources that were made available to me by my parents, by my family. So yeah, that's my second failure in terms of my career journey. My third failure was at being an exceptional computer science engineer. Even though Ujgire sir has spent like 2-3 minutes talking about my accolades, but to be honest, I was not a great computer science engineer. Even though I was a team leader in Cognizant, and that was my first job per se, but I failed as a computer science engineer. I didn't enjoy it. I would not get satisfaction when it comes to working as a computer science engineer. I would work with people from Japan. I would work with people in US, from Europe, but that was not something that would give meaning to my life. I would do it only as a means of livelihood. only a means to get 40,000 rupees per month as a salary. That was all. So I failed as a computer science engineer also, which was my third milestone. Now, not computer science, what else? I wanted to do something which involved a lot of human interaction, which involved speaking to people, which involved a bit of arts in it. And I also wanted something to do with business. So MBA was a natural choice. I wanted to get into a top MBA college because that sort of a missed opportunity of not getting into an IIT was always in me, and that's why I wanted to be in the top MBA colleges of India. My dream colleges were always Tata Institute of Social Sciences and Jamnalal Bajaj Institute of Management Studies. These are the only two colleges that I wanted to get into. Even though I cracked CAT like thrice, I scored a percentile of 97 percentile. I was not able to get into these two colleges, both Jamnalal Bajaj and Tata Institute of Social Sciences. So I failed thrice, which is 3 years in continuously in getting into a great MBA college that I desired to be in. I was able to crack a tier 2 college and all the new IIMs and everything, but I was not able to crack a college like a Jamnalal Bajaj or a Tata Institute of Social Sciences. So that was my fourth failure in my life. So after 3 years of rigorously trying to get into a great college, college that I dreamt of, I finally got into that college. And how did I get into that college? I decided that because I was trying to double hat. I was trying to be a team leader. I was trying to prepare for MBAs also. So it was a secure thing that I was trying to do, because that's what people will tell you, that be secure, always play safe. It's always better to have something in hand than have to in the bush. That is what people tell you, right? But I wanted to be at the edge. I wanted to make myself feel insecure. I wanted that desperation in my life, and that's when I decided that I will resign from my job, go back home, sit down for 5 months, prepare like anything for these MBA exams. I applied to all the major colleges in 2013 in India, got through every single college, applied to all HR top institutes, XLRI, SMHRD, Tata Institute of Social Sciences, got through Tata Institute of Social Sciences, got through XLRI, got through SMHRD, all the institutes. And the reason I got through it because I was desperate for success. I had no fallback option. I had resigned from my job. I had nothing else to do. That was my fourth major failure. Now, after you get into this, it's a different world altogether. After you do an MBA and you get into that, there are people from different parts of the world. They come from colleges like SRCC, Stephens, Hindu, and I started getting insecure because I came from a very, very tier 2 college, or a very not so popular college in India, which was from Government Engineering College, Aurangabad, and I started getting insecure. I would get into debates. I was a great orator while I was in engineering college, while I was in my school days. But when I went to TIS, I became highly insecure about my verbal capabilities, about my expression, about my orator skills, and it started reflecting on me. My grades took a hit. I was not able to do justice in the very first year of my MBA, and that was my sort of a fifth failure, where I was failing, and I could see that I am failing when it comes to academics in TIS. Now, after TIS, I got into a job, but I always wanted to be an entrepreneur. I actually last year won the top HR idea award in India from a company called as Jombe. I even also got a sort of a funding from them to start my own venture. But things didn't work out. I failed at starting my own venture. So all the accolades that you could hear 5 minutes back about Ujgire sir, this is the other side of the story also, where there are successes that he spoke about. There are multiple failures also. Today, I'm sitting as an associate director of HR at Echo Amazon, which is an Amazon funded company. But this is the harsh reality of life. Failure is not opposite of a success. It's a part of it. And that's what I wanted all of you to imbibe in yourself at this time when we are living in. We all are uncertain. We all are unsure about what future will hold for us. But yeah, every failure is a part of your success. So whatever you're feeling right now, it's okay. It's okay if you're uncertain about your job offers. It's okay if you're uncertain about your MS seats that you've gotten in US and all of that. It's okay. Things will work out. We all will come out of it stronger and better. But it's important to know that while maybe 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line, you'll be doing a similar speech to someone in a different part of the world, it's important to remember all your failures. So try to measure your career journey also in terms of failures, because everybody will talk about your success, but it's important to be grounded and to be humble and remember what are your failures also. So that's the introduction that I wanted you to remember in terms of who I am as a person. And my failures, they don't define me, but yeah, they help me in shaping myself into a better version of myself. Okay. Now moving on, career and jobs. Now these are two different terms, right? Career, jobs. People don't know what career is, what job is, whether I want a job, whether I want a career. So what I would request all of you is, I would request all of you to go to this site. I am sure all of you are logging through your mobiles, your laptops. Go to menti.com and use this code to fill in a survey. So the moment you log into menti.com, they will ask you for this code. The code is 791665. So the moment you enter there, there will be a sort of a survey that will be asked, and I will start a countdown of 1 minute for all of you, but I'll make it 1.5 minutes for everyone to log in and start putting in their surveys. Can everyone log in to this site and tell me what do they really want in life? It's a sort of a, it'll help me in shaping the answers better and understand what you guys really want in life and maybe shape my conversation accordingly.
Okay. So all the students and the
okay. Timer of 1 minute.
Yeah, the participants, they are requested to visit the menti.com, use the code to take a part in this poll.
It's a live poll that will happen. All of you can see the responses. All of you can see what is happening there. So I will increase the timer also for all of you to understand. Okay, so there are mixed responses coming for job, for career. Please be candid. Please be honest. There's no right answer. There's no wrong answer. So just keep typing whatever you feel like. Okay. I've increased the time, seeing that more people are answering. Okay, looks like people have answered. So out of the 43 people who have answered the survey, 32 want a career and 11 want a job. So first of all, there's no right or wrong answer in this entire thing. So please don't beat yourself in terms of whether this is the right thing that I've asked or wrong thing that I've asked or whatever. It's okay to have juggle between the two, and it's completely normal. When I was in the same age group of 2021, even I wanted a job at that time. I was not even aware of what a career is. So let's talk about career and job. And I would like everyone to start thinking more in terms of career and not in job, because I'll give you some certain reasons why career is more important than job. Right now, you are in that age group of 2021 where everybody wants a job. There are parents who are behind your back. There are relatives who are asking you, what job have you got? You went to this college. Abhi koi job nahi laga hai, kya nahi laga hai. I understand all of that, and I have gone through all of that. But it's important to understand what is a career and what is a job, and how you can build a career and not a job. Because jobs will come and go. All of us take jobs instead of desperation because we need it. All of that happens. But a career is something that we build. Okay. These are conscious decisions that we build. Now, first of all, let's go into the definition of career and a job. What is a job? Job is something that you get paid for. Any activity that you do and you get paid for is a job. But whereas career is something else. Career is a journey. It's a journey of multiple jobs or network of jobs that you do. And it's a journey of any idea and experiences that you face. All your experiences of your job, of your interacting with people together make a career. So job is a simple transactional word where if you do something, you get paid for, and that's a job. So That's what a job is. Career, on the other hand, it's a network of jobs. These are magnitude of jobs that happen, and they happen over a period of 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 25 years, every. So you can't define career in a matter of one job or two jobs. Okay. So careers are, the span of a career is way too large than a job. Now, what do you accumulate in a career and what do you accumulate in a job? In a job, when you are in a job, you accumulate money, you accumulate cash, you accumulate people's validation. That's about it. That's what you accumulate when you do a job. Now, what do you accumulate when you have a career? When you start thinking on the lines of a career and not on a job, you start accumulating network. You meet people who you want to speak to. You meet people from different industries. You meet people from different line of thoughts, and that's how what you accumulate. You accumulate ideas. When you start thinking about a career, when you have a long-term goal, and that long-term goal can be anything. It can be to be a CEO of a company, and it can be to start a business of your own. But there should be a long-term goal. If you start living on the go and start living with every job, it becomes very transactional. You will always be looking out for the next job and not building your career. Jobs will come and go, and every job is transactional. But if you have a long-term vision of what you want to build in your career, trust me, it will help you in building a great brand of yourself. Eventually, all of us are nothing but brands. Honestly, here I am today selling myself as an orator, as someone who has seen it all. Tomorrow, you will be doing the same thing when you're interviewing with a company. There you have to sell yourself as a brand. Okay, all of us are in a way a brand, and that's the unfortunate part of capitalism. When you are working in a capitalist economy, all of us are either selling or buying something at every point in time. When you're sitting in an interview, you're selling yourself as a brand, and the person who's on the other side is buying that brand that you're trying to project. That's what we are. So when you think about career, you accumulate network, you accumulate ideas, you accumulate experiences. When you think about job, you only and only accumulate money. And if accumulating money is what you are looking forward to, please by all means go ahead and that. But will it give you satisfaction? And ask someone who started his career or his journey. And one of the reasons that I wanted to do an MBA was because I would only remember 15 lakh ka package milega. That was the reason that I was dreaming of doing an MBA initially. But after spending like 10 years in building a career, trust me, career is much more than accumulating money. You accumulate friends, you accumulate network, you accumulate experiences. So career is a very long-term journey as compared to a job, which is very transactional. Now, what do you look forward to? When you are working in a job, there are Monday blues that you look forward to. Every Monday, you're like, "Aaj fir se office jana hai 9 baje." That is what you look forward to when you're looking for a job. Okay, because there is fatigue. You don't like what you're doing. You don't enjoy what you're doing when you're looking for a job. And when you look for a career, every day is a new day. Every day is a new challenge. When you do something that you enjoy, you start looking forward towards every day. You come back home and you want to go back to work. That's what a career does to you, because you have a long-term vision. You have a long-term career goal for yourself. When you do a job, every Monday you're frustrated because you don't want to do anything else. So that's what I want all of you to take away right now in this discussion, is to build careers and not jobs. While I understand that at your age, job is important because there are investments that have been made. Some of you may have taken loans. Some of you would have seen your parents go through a lot of turmoil to get you into this place. But trust me, right now, it may be job, but 10 years down the line, you will understand that career is what is more important. Job is a quick validation, nothing else. It's like that Facebook like that you get. It doesn't mean anything. It only means that it gives you a validation. So think about careers and not about jobs, is what I tell you. Finally, what impact do you create? When you are getting a job, what impact are you creating vis-a-vis a career? When you get a job, the impact that you may create is you may be able to send 10,000 rupees or 15,000 rupees to your parents. That's about it. You may be able to get a new t-shirt. You may be able to get a small car. That's the impact that you're creating. But when you look at a career, you are creating a societal impact. If your career goal is to become an entrepreneur and you achieve it, you are creating jobs. You are running the economy. Because of you, there are people who are getting that job. So when you think as in a long-term vision and you try to build a career, the magnitude of impact that you create is humongous. Okay, that's what you do when you get a career. I would like to go back to the earlier point of saying there's nothing wrong with having jobs and thinking about with a mindset of only having jobs. But I would like you to focus on building more careers. Okay. Now with this slide, I have few more slides, but I think now I've now reached the 20 mark deadline. If you have any questions and if you have any feedback, please go ahead and share it in your in the comment section. I'm more than happy to answer right now.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can.
There is one question. She is one of the youngest participant in this webinar. She is Aditi. She is asking that during the early days of your college, usually these students, they are confused that they have multiple choices, like they want to become an engineer, they want to become a medical professional, they want to become a CA, and generally their ambitions and their goals, they are majorly influenced by their friend. So can you suggest, can you have your comment on this?
Okay. So at your age, the age that you guys are in, it's okay to be confused. You will be confused. And that's completely fine. Every day or every month you will have a new thing that you want to become. And cherish that feeling, because that will motivate you in one way or another. What is more important to understand than becoming something? It's the purpose. What's your purpose in life? I know purpose is a very big word, but if you're able to figure out your purpose in life, I will talk about purpose in detail in the coming slides. But if you're able to figure out what's your purpose in life, you will have an answer in terms of what you want to become. When I was that age, trust me, I wanted to become an IAS officer, I wanted to become an MBA, I wanted to become an engineer, I wanted to be an entrepreneur. That's okay. It's okay to be confused. But what is important and what I have spent a lot of time in these years is to understand my purpose. What is my purpose in life? Once you understand your purpose and once you understand what's your purpose that you want to achieve in the next 10 years, in the next decade, it's okay. And can a purpose of life change? It can change. That's also okay. So you don't have to become an engineer and be an engineer for the next 40 years of your life. That is not what I'm saying. It can change depending on the circumstances of your life. It can change depending on what experiences you are having. And that's also fine. I think a lot of us are from middle class mentality, and we are brought up in the mentality of saying that pick up this one line and then go about it for about 40 years. Our parents have seen an era where where the resources were limited, where options were limited. And that's why they were like single-mindedly working towards getting food on the table. And that's how they spent their entire 40 years of their career working in only one job. Gone are those days. We are now moving towards an era where people will have multiple jobs. There's a concept of moonlighting that I'll talk about later, where it is predicted that in the next 5 years, people will be doing 2 or 3 jobs in a day. We'll be spending 4 hours in one job, 2 or 4 hours in another job. So we are now in an era where jobs are evolving. So while people will tell you, or your parents will push you into a certain direction, your peers will push you into a certain direction, make sure that you understand yourself first. Okay, you understand your purpose. And I would highly recommend to understand your purpose. You should always look at your skills and your interest while deciding which job or which career stream to take. If your skills are low and your interest is high, don't pick that option. If your skills are high and your interest is high, then only pick that option. It can be engineering, it can be becoming a YouTuber, it can be becoming a TikToker, it can be becoming a musician, it can be anything. So there is no right answer. Whatever you want to become is completely your call.
Okay, that's great. There is one more question, Kushal, that is, I am looking forward to do MBA and develop a business, but I have no such family background of business. Should I go forward for the same, or should I go for the government exams, like competitive exams, what she means?
Okay, so one thing that you should realize is it has nothing to do with the family background. I am one of the greatest entrepreneurs of all time. Bill Gates or Steve Jobs, they had no family background as such. Steve Jobs had literally no background. He developed the entire company, Apple, from the garage of his stepmom and stepdad. So there is nothing called as family background when it comes to becoming an entrepreneur. So all that requires becoming an entrepreneur is high amount of perseverance and high amount of dedication towards whatever you're trying to build. The only thing that you require if you want to become a great entrepreneur is a great idea. if you have a great idea and you think that idea is unique and that idea is something that is different from what the world has seen till now, please go ahead by all means and become an entrepreneur. But the journey is very, very exciting. At the same time, it is very, very taxing also, because you will have to be ready for multiple failures and you will have to be ready for a lot of rejections, but the reward is also big. Always remember this fact: in any job or in any career, the risk is higher, the returns will always be higher. Okay, high risk will always lead to high returns, and it's a call that you have to take, whether you are willing to take that high risk or not. Okay, so please, by all means, if you want to become an entrepreneur, become an entrepreneur. Now, becoming an entrepreneur and giving government exams, these are two different things. You need to sit down and figure out your own calling. Take a piece of paper and write down what is your calling in 10 sentences. And if these all the 10 sentences point to giving a government exam, please go ahead and give a government exam and get a government job. But if those 10 sentences point out and tell you that you want to become an entrepreneur and have a business of your own and want to have a business empire of your own, then please stop studying for a government exam and start working towards becoming an entrepreneur.
Okay, that's great. That's great. So can we proceed with our next session, Kushal?
Sure.
Next slides. Okay. Kushal, there is a question from Devesh sir. Devesh sir, please go ahead. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah. Thank you. Sorry for the interruption. This is the start of the session. Yes, very much important. I'll just like to highlight some 2-3 classic examples. Students studying into final year of engineering, coming and getting placed at very good company, and again looking for a better opportunity while he or she is into the college itself. That means he or she getting 2 to 3 good offers in hand, and after that comes a situation wherein the same student, when asked that what would you join, which company would you join, and then he or she has options like TCS, Infosys, and Genpact maybe. And instead of an answer, we get a reply that no, my parents expect me to do a degree into ME or maybe a master's degree, and or maybe an MBA. So how the students really, I definitely know this, that students have to take a call on their own instead of again going on what parents are really expecting. But then still, would you like to guide students onto this, that why this situation when there is a batch of 60 students into the final year of engineering, only 20 get placements, and out of these 20, these 5 take such decisions when they have something in their hand. So what is a better option? Shall they really plan for that degree, or they should take away a job which is there into their hand?
See, it also is very important that you don't sit in campus interview. A lot of people that I know and I have seen, they sit in campus interviews and get a job offer and later reject it because they want this to be seen as a social validation. कि मेरे को मिला था लेकिन मुझे चाहिए नहीं था. So this primarily happens because you want the social validation from your parents कि यार मेरे को 4 लाख की जॉब लग गई थी, मुझे करनी नहीं थी, मुझे 5 लाख की जॉब लगी थी, मुझे करनी नहीं थी. What you do with that is that you try to create a safety net for yourself, and that safety net, according to me, may not be the best thing possible, because when you create safety net, and this is something that I believe, I may be wrong also, these are personal beliefs. When you create a safety net for yourself and you are afraid of falling, you in a way will end up falling only, because that fear of failure is so high that you sat in an interview. When the HR person is asking you really want to do that job or you don't want to continue, you end up saying that yes, I want to continue, I want to do that job. You are lying to yourself, you're lying to the company, and you're lying to your peers, right? People who have applied to the same job. It's an individual choice, but as per me, if you really want to pursue a high degree and you are really passionate about it and you are sure about it, it should not come from your parents. Parents ने बोला ME कर लो, parents ने बोला ये कर लो. I can understand parents pushing you to do a BTech because उस टाइम तुम 15 साल के होते हो, 16 साल के होते हो, you have no idea. But now you are 20, 21, you are 21 years old. You have a legal age to vote. If you can take a decision on the future of the country, you can pretty much take the decision on the future of yourself. So at 21, if you're telling me my parents are telling me to do this, then I'm sorry, you have to adult up. At 15, 16, I can understand because that's a tender age. If parents push you to something, but if at 21 you're still unsure and you are deciding the future of the nation, but you're uncertain about your own future, then time to adult up. You no longer can use the excuse of parents because it's your call now. Okay.
Yeah, got it.
Great. So I'll continue with the presentation. Is my screen visible now?
Yes, it's visible.
Okay. Perfect. Now the other thing that I want all of us to figure out is it's a very important thing to know what's your propellant. Like, what is your propellant? When I say the word propellant, what fuels you? Like, what fuels you really? People get into jobs, they do a similar 9 to 5 job for 40 years of their career or for their life, and they still don't feel complete. They still don't feel fulfilled. That's because they end up giving on their dreams, they end up giving on their passion, and that was their propellant. They start living and they start breathing. There's a difference between living and breathing. If you're not passionate about what you're doing, you're just breathing, you're not living. I'll show you a very perfect example of someone, and it's a hilarious video also, someone who could have had a great career, choosing a safe job. That safety net that I was talking about, I'll show you something on this. Looking for a job. When you're looking for a job and not career, this is what happens. Okay. It's a TikTok video. Look at this cameraman. He chose a job with becoming a cameraman instead of becoming an athlete. And that's what comes in front of you. When you choose a job just because it is the easiest option available, and it just is something that you need at that time and not think about career, that is where you end up. Okay. It is convenient. It is easy. I understand all of that, but I want all of you to focus on your career also. Think about your skills. Think about what is your passion while deciding your first job, while deciding what's your next move. And it's okay if you get it wrong. Trust me, I'm still figuring it out. I'm not so sure that I'm doing right in my career or not. And it's completely okay. First of all, stop beating yourself on every single mistake that you make. You are going to make mistakes. You will fall. You will fail. And that is okay. It's okay to start fresh. It's okay to get up, dust yourself, and start all over again. But what is important is to have that propellant in life. The day that propellant is missing in your life is the day when you are just surviving and not living. So find what's your propellant. This propellant can change from every year to year, but there should be something that drives you. And the minute that you find that, just grab onto it. Now, going from looking for a job to looking for a career point. How many of you know this lady who's on the other side? She has a very famous YouTube channel called as Mostly Sane. She has got 5 million subscribers. She's just 26 years old. She has got the opportunity to meet the first lady, the ex-first lady of the USA, Michelle Obama, because she was not looking for a job. She was looking for a career. She was an RJ. And she left that RJ job, which was a stable, much more better job, according to her parents, and started becoming a YouTuber. Now, many of you may think YouTuber is not a career. There is no answer to that. Just being an engineer or becoming a doctor or becoming a scientist is not a career. A career is something that you are passionate about. A career is something that you feel is your calling. And there is no definition or a word that stops you from there. Cricket is a career. YouTube is a career. Becoming a singer is a career. So don't restrict or don't limit your imagination by just saying that becoming an engineer or becoming a scientist is only a career. A career is all about what you are passionate about and want to have a long-term goal. That is all what career is all about. I've purposefully chosen these examples of people who are right now from different industries because Prajakta is, I'm sure a lot of you will be following her on YouTube. And I want you to relate to her also, because it is not about only becoming an engineer or becoming a coder or becoming a a MBA graduate or becoming an entrepreneur. Career is very different. In the times that we are living in, your career has a very different meaning. Your parents grew up in the ages of 70s, 80s. Their view of career may be very different from what is there right now in India. So don't restrict yourselves to only the traditional definitions of career, of being an engineer, doctor. Go outside and see how jobs are evolving, how careers are evolving, how opportunities are evolving. Okay, don't just limit to your parents in terms of telling you what is right and wrong for you. You should understand how the dynamics of work is changing globally, and then choose your career. Okay. Now, I was talking earlier about finding your purpose. Now, purpose is again a very difficult thing to crack, right? Nobody understands what is my purpose, right? And especially at your age, nobody has any idea what purpose is. Trust me, even I don't know. My purpose in life keeps on changing sometimes, but it's very, very crucial to find your purpose. If you're able to find your purpose, all the questions that you are asking me about whether a government job should be given, whether becoming an entrepreneur is the right decision, whether I should go for MS or whether I should apply for a job, you will get an answer to that. It's a 5-step process that I want you to follow when it comes to finding your purpose and understanding what your purpose is. Find what captivates you. Understand what captivates you in terms of what do you really, really feel doing. It can be reading a book.
Kushal, can you hear me? You are not audible.
I think there is some network issue.
Yes. Kushal, you are not audible, and as well as you are not visible. He might facing some internet issues. Participant, just give us a moment so that he will come online. I request participants to keep patience. Kushal, you are not audible. You are facing some internet issue. Can you hear us? Am I audible to you? So he went online. He went offline. I can see the control panel. Just give us a moment so that he will come online. I request Vinit Devre sir. Sir, please, till the time the speaker is facing some electricity issue, so he will shortly come back. I request you please present your thought on this topic, sir. Devre sir, can you hear me, sir? Okay, Kushal is back. Kushal is back.
Hey, hi. Sorry, I had a network issue.
Kushal, can you hear
So
us?
can you give me the presenter?
Yes, yes, yes. I will give you the.
I can.
Okay, okay.
Perfect.
Kushal, are we audible?
Yes, sir, you are.
Okay, okay, fine, perfect, perfect. Okay. So your screen is visible to us. You can go ahead.
Is it visible now?
Yeah, yeah, it's visible. Perfect.
Okay. Okay, great. So as I was talking about, in the last 1 year, figure out what books are you reading. Figure out what has been your articles that you've been reading. Once you get an idea of those books, those articles, you will understand what really captivates you. That's your first answer in terms of what's your purpose. If you're reading about being a volunteer, if you're reading about corporate social responsibility of companies, if you're reading about NGOs, you really want to go in that sector. If you're reading about, let's say you're reading about new languages, be it Java, Python, R, Rust, whatever, then you want to be a coder. That's your first indication on in terms of what you really want to become. You become what you read, and there's the reason for saying that, because whatever you read is what you really want to become. Okay, so my first request to all of you in terms of figuring out what you really want to become, understand what you've been reading for the last 1 year. Go to your bookshelf and see what books have you bought from Amazon, from Flipkart, wherever. That's your first indication of that's your purpose. Okay. Second thing that I want you to do is your life inventory. Your life inventory from the age group of 7 or 8 years to the time you are now 18, 20, whatever, and reflect back. You may have been a great singer in school. You may have been a great orator at school. You may have been a great dancer at school. You may have been a great painter at school. So I want you to sit down and list down all your life inventory and reflect back. Take down 25 things that you were good at in school until your age that you are right now, and write it down. Write those 25 things down. Once you write those 25 things down, you will figure out
Sorry to interrupt you. Sorry to interrupt you. Kushal, you are not audible. Kushal, you are not audible. You are not audible.
sit back and write down top 25 things that you are great at in your life inventory and that you really enjoy. You will have an answer. Make a list of all those past callings, which is exactly what I was saying. Make a list of all the past callings. You may have wanted to become a doctor, you may have wanted to become an engineer, whatever, and list down those 25 things. Say that I wanted to become an engineer because I was good in maths in class 10th. I scored 93. Write those down and you will figure out what is that one calling that you are good at and that you really want to pursue. Okay. People would have diluted you. People would have corrupted your whole purpose because of what society believes is right for you. Your parents have a different view of what is right for you. Your brothers or your sisters have a different view for what is right for you. Media has a different view in terms of what is right for you. But when you sit down and list down all the past callings and passions that you have had till what you are right now, you will find an answer. Ask others what they think. People who you really trust, people who you call as your best friends or your close friends, use this as an opportunity to ask them whether they really think that you should take a government exam or you should become an entrepreneur. trust me, they will give you a very honest opinion. If they are really your well-wishers, they will let you know that you are horrible in terms of becoming a government entrepreneur, because you are not someone who is okay with bureaucracy. You are not someone who will be okay with not speaking his or her mind. They are your best well-wishers. Speak to them. Ask them questions like, do you think I'll be good at this? If they say yes, what makes you think that I'll be good at this? Can you give me one or two reasons that why you're saying that I'll be good at this? They will let you know. If they're your well-wishers, they will help you understand really whether this is the right thing for you or not. So reach out to these people, reach out to these mentors, reach out to these teachers, reach out to these well-wishers, reach out to these friends to help you understand what in terms of what they think will be the best thing for you. There's a great saying in Hindi which says, "Suno sabki karo apne man ki." That is exactly what I want you to do. I want you to listen from everyone and then figure out when what they are saying, does it resonate with what you want to become. Core values. You are in an age where it's very important to develop some core values, and those values can stay with you for a long time. These values shape up your personality. These values pretty much define who you are as an individual. So it's high time that you start listing down these core values. Somebody may, and there is again no right and wrong answer when it comes to core values. My core value can be jugaad. I will succeed come what may. That is my core value, that I'll be doing jugaad. For someone else, it can be having highest amount of integrity. Whatever I do, whether I become a policeman, whether I become a policewoman, or whether I become an astronaut or doctor, my core value will always be being integral, being honest. That's a core value. Whatever core values you pick up right now, they help you in shaping up your jobs, they help you in shaping up your careers. So use this as an opportunity to build that. This lockdown is a great opportunity to understand what are your core values and what has worked for you. Now, values are built in terms of, it's an experiment. Like when you are a kid and you put your finger inside that socket and it gives you a current, and then you remember that, okay, I don't have to put that finger in the socket. That's how values have been built in your life. You would have lied about a particular thing to your parents and they would have given you a whacking, and that value stayed with you in terms of that I don't have to lie, I have to be honest. It's time to sit down and realize that my childhood, these are the values that I've grown up with, and I will keep these values close to me. If you do this 5-step process, trust me, you'll be able to find your purpose. And once you have your purpose in mind, jobs, career, everything else is sorted. Because nothing can give you that amount of satisfaction or sense of fulfillment than finding your own purpose. It can be building a pump in your village to building a spacecraft for ISRO. It can, that the spectrum is that big. So find your purpose, okay? That's more important than finding anything else. Now, the other thing that I wanted to talk about, career in the time of Corona. Like with Corona happening, how will careers change? What will happen to your jobs? How will workplace evolve? What will be the new skills that will be required? Before I do that, I understand a lot of you have mixed feelings about the time that you are spending right now in the lockdown. Some of you are happy, some of you are anxious, some of you are excited, some of you are worried. So there's a mix of emotions. I want to understand from you people. Again, I would request you to go to that menti.com and use this code and help me understanding how are you feeling about this entire lockdown thing. So I will move to the next presentation. When you click there again, you will find this as a new window now. So go to menti.com again, refresh that page and write this code again. So whatever 3 words that come to your mind in terms of the future and how are you feeling? I am feeling a little worried in terms of, because I really don't know what will the future look like.
Kushal, sorry to interrupt you. Your screen is not visible actually.
Yes.
It was paused because of the last
okay.
failure. I'm giving you the presentation again. I'm giving you presentation.
Sure.
So I have sent a request. Now you can share.
Yes. Can you see my screen now?
Not yet. Yeah, it's visible. It's visible now.
Perfect. So I would request all of you to go on menti.com and put in this code. I will go back to the slide later. But if you can go to this menti.com and enter whatever words that come to your mind. So you can see this word cloud changing everywhere. I would request everyone to go ahead and write words, whatever they feel like. It can be sad, confused, risk, whatever. And then we'll talk about it in detail. So a lot of people are feeling confused right now, right?
Friends, go to
I hope the confuse is for the future. Your future of your future. It is not about the presentation. Okay, worried, uncertainty. Okay. Okay. 35 seconds more. People who are listening, if you can just log into menti.com, put in this code of 791665 and help me understand how are you feeling about your future right now, because then I will revolve the discussion around these topics only in the next slide and help you understand how you can feel better, especially about your future in this corona time. Okay. Last 30 seconds for people to give in their comments. We have got 34 responses. Perfect. Last 5 seconds and then we'll go to the presentation. Clearly, a lot of you are feeling confused and worried and uncertain, right? That's the major feeling. Some of you are feeling excited, recession is another topic that people are selecting. Yep, let's talk about it now. Okay. So before I proceed, I wanted to show the slide that I was talking about earlier. I think you guys didn't see the slide. So again, find your purpose is a 5-step process. And these are the 5 steps that I was talking about earlier. Find what captivates you, take your life inventory and reflect back and see what are the major occurrences that have happened in your life and that gave you a calling or a passion. Ask your confidants, which are your well-wishers, your parents, your teachers, your mentors, about what they think about you and what's your purpose, what according to them is your purpose in life. And finally, figure out your core values. Your core values will help you in terms of understanding whether this is the right purpose for you or not. So this is what a 5-step process that I would like all of you to follow in terms of finding your purpose in life, because your purpose will let you know what career you want in life. And that career will give you the jobs that you are looking forward to. Okay. It's a journey of moving from purpose to career to jobs. Okay. Great. Again, purpose can vary from creating or building a sort of a water pump in your village to building a spaceship for ISRO or NASA. So a purpose can be as wide as that. There's no right and wrong answer again in purpose. Purpose, career, jobs is a sequence that I would like you to follow. Now, career in the times of Corona. A lot of you said that you are sad, you are anxious, there's high amount of uncertainty. There is a recession that is coming. I agree with all of you. These are turbulent times that we are living in. There is a lot of uncertainty in the market. There is no assurances on jobs. There is no assurances in terms of what future will behold for us. But does that mean that we sit back and do nothing about our lives and we do nothing about our careers? The answer to that is no. Now, in this slide, I want you to pay major attention in terms of how do you prepare yourself for any sort of recession that may or may not come. I would hope that it may not come, but if in case it comes, we have to be ready for it, right? So I want you to pay attention to this slide in terms of understanding what you have to be ready with. If all of us have to go through a recession, it's high time that we use this opportunity and instead of sitting home and watching Netflix and Amazon Prime, build our careers also. There's nothing wrong in watching Netflix and Amazon Primes. All of us do. So please don't misinterpret me. But I want also that you guys spend time on building your careers, because it's a great opportunity to upscale yourself. Okay. Moonlighting will become a new norm. What does the word moonlighting mean? Moonlighting practically means that it will no longer be about having only one job. People will have multiple jobs. I may have an MBA degree and be an associate editor HR from morning 9 to 5, but in the evening I may end up doing a stand-up comedy show. So that will become the norm of the day. People will no longer rely on one career or one job for their sustenance. People will have options. Just like an employer has multiple people on the same job, similarly, an individual will also like to work with multiple employers at the same time or follow multiple careers at the same time. It is okay to do that. That will become the new norm of the way work will evolve. People will have multiple jobs. You will spend 5 years, and people will be okay with you working only from 9 to 1. Contracts, offer letters will also evolve in that way, that if you work for half a day, your salary is this. So start preparing for that norm. Moonlighting will be the next big norm in the next 5 years, where millennials who are joining the workforce will no longer be okay with only having one job at hand. You have EMIs to pay, you have a lifestyle to maintain, and that will not be wholly and solely dependent on one job. So figure out your skills and don't have all your eggs in one basket. I want you to use this opportunity to also figure out what is the second job that you will do in the next 5 years. Because that might become the norm. People will start doing multiple jobs at the same time. It will no longer, you may be an engineer in the morning, and in the evening you may come and do you may become a Byju's lecturer. And Byju might be paying you 50,000, 20,000 rupees every week to take 3 lectures in the evening from 7 to 8. So that will become a norm and people will start doing it. You will no longer be tied to only one job. So start figuring out what are the other jobs other than your core skills that you can do or you enjoy. It can be being an online teacher. It can be doing a stand-up comedy. It can be becoming a YouTuber apart from your core job. So that might become a norm in the coming years, where moonlighting will become a trend. Second, embrace new means of social interaction. I don't know for how long, maybe 6 months, 9 months, 1 year, 18 months, we might be confined in our homes and we'll have to work in this new setup where you are interacting with people only through webinars. This might become a new norm in the society. All your interviews may happen through laptops. You may no longer be sitting in a place where the person will be on the next side of the table. You might be doing a virtual interview. So start embracing new means of social interaction. Start embracing technology. You no longer can hide behind the fact that I'm not a computer science graduate. I am a civil or a mechanical or an electrical engineer. So that's why technology is not important to me. Gone are those days. It's a new societal norm that we are facing now. These are new ways of social interaction that we are embracing. So figure out and start embracing these new means of social interaction. Your interviews in the next 2 years will happen only on video conferences. So start acclimatizing yourself to this new means of technology. Okay, don't shy away from it. Okay, leverage tech platforms. You no longer can be only dependent on your college or on your education institution to give you or impart knowledge in you. You have to move beyond that. You have to embrace platforms like Udemy, Pluralsight, Coursera, Khan Academy to learn more. If you are only and strictly dependent on your college to impart all necessary knowledge, trust me, that will not work for you. It's time to get into the driver's seat and own your own education. In the times that we are living in, you can get, and in the online world that you are living in, everything is on the tips of your finger. Start leveraging these sites, Udemy, Pluralsight. If you want to become a marketer, if you want to become an entrepreneur, there are so many courses on Coursera, Udemy, Pluralsight that you can leverage. So don't restrict yourself. And these are very cheap, or very cheap is not the right word, inexpensive courses, 300 rupees, 200 rupees. That's a movie ticket for you guys, right? So start leveraging these tech platforms for your learnings. Don't just sit for these next 2 months or 1 month and not learn anything new. I understand that it's important that all of us come out of this calamity alive, but it's also important to use this opportunity to learn and to also upscale yourself if in case there's a recession coming. I I really don't have an answer whether there's a recession coming or not. But yeah, if it is, these are times when you start leveraging all these tech platforms and start upskilling yourself. Finally, I would like you all to talk about mental health. Everybody talks about physical health. Everybody thinks about whether I'm physically fit, whether I'm physically okay or not. But trust me, in the times of Corona and with the lack of social interaction that you guys are facing right now, it's important to put your mental health first. It's important to make sure that you talk about your mental health. Most of you are feeling anxious. Most of you are feeling sad. Most of you are feeling worried. Most of you are feeling uncertain. These are all mental health issues. These are not physical health issues. So I would request you, and I would also request the college authorities to address these issues first. It's important to take a stock of your mental health. And honestly, gone are the days when mental health is a taboo. Just because we are talking about mental health doesn't mean that you are pagal. Pagal नहीं हो जाता कोई mental health बात करने से. That's a different thing. Mental disease and mental health are two different topics. Okay, so don't confuse yourself. If you are depressed, talk about it. Talk about it with your parents, with your teachers, with your mentors, and that's okay. You are spending 24 hours in a day in a confined space. In that 2 BHK, 3 BHK that you're living in, you're spending 24 hours. There is bound to have some sort of impact on your mental health. It can be anxiety, it can be depression, it can be all these symptoms. So it's important that you start talking about it. You start seeking help. And by seeking help, it doesn't declare you as a mad person. So start embracing your mental health. Start talking about it. Just like you will tell your parents about a fracture that you have had on your hand, start talking about the anxiety that you have had in your mind also because of this entire thing. It's okay to talk about these uncertain times with your parents and say, I'm not sure what will happen to me or what will happen to my career. Talk about it to your friends, to your teachers, but don't keep it all in. Okay? Once you talk about it, trust me, it becomes normal. If you keep thinking about it and if you keep harping around it, it becomes more and more difficult. So if you don't want to speak to a therapist or a counselor, talk to your own peers or your own teachers or your own parents. That's the best way out of it. Mental health will become a very important topic in the next 1 year because human race is not accustomed to being so socially distant. And in the last 200, 300 years, we have never felt so alone in spite of being in our own homes. So it's time that you start thinking about it also. Okay, so with this, I would like to end my presentation. I hope you guys gained something out of it. If you have any questions, any feedback, any concerns that you would like to share with me, more than happy to answer. I think we have last 10 minutes before we call it a day. Now, over to Ujgiri for any questions that are coming in the chat window.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. There are a few questions in the chat window. The first question is that in government job, we know we have fixed salary and we go for safe zone. But in entrepreneurship, we have so many problems like people like your ideas or just a second. Entrepreneurship, we have so many problems like people like our ideas or many times we think go to entrepreneur. We don't have ideas, then how to find the ideas? The question is a bit difficult, you know.
Ideas only come through experiences.
Yes.
Yeah. So to answer the question, government is a safe job. Yes, it's a safe job. I would completely agree with the fact that it's a safe job. You will get a salary every month. But is it a high-paying job? I don't think so. It is not a high-paying job. Promotions will only happen after 5 years, 6 years. Everything will be done with a system only. If you want extraordinary growth, I don't think government job is the answer. But that's an individual choice. I am no one to comment on it because I've never had a government job. I've seen my father have a government job, but yeah, that's about it. So there is again an individual choice. Moving on to the second part of the question where it says that we don't have any ideas. Trust me, ideas come. It will come only if you interact more with people. If you interact with people who are not from your own background and are from a different background, you will get an idea. If you are a computer science graduate and you talk only to computer science graduates every day, and you're from the same college, you're from the same city, no idea will come. So the more you expose yourself to people with different views and different ideas and different ideologies, you will get ideas. But if you restrict yourselves to only those 5 friends that you go to FITGI or to PT education or to whatever charter classes, no idea will come your way. So if you increase your network and if you start interacting with people who are from different backgrounds or different streams or different geographies, more ideas will come. Just by talking to those 5 people who are in your comfort zone, no idea will come your way. So it's time to go beyond the boundaries of comfort zone if you want to become an entrepreneur and experiment with ideas. That's what I would say.
Okay. There is one more question. That is, what one might do if need to pursue job in which person is not interested to make his career. I repeat the question. What one might.
Okay.
Okay. Do you understand?
Yep.
You understood the question?
I got it, sir. I have lived through it, so I got it easily. So if you are in a job which you don't like, do everything possible to get out of it. I remember when I was in Cognizant and I didn't like the job. I won't say I didn't like the brand. Brand had nothing to do with it. I didn't like the job of being a technical coder, and I had my own reasons. It was not that I was a bad student, and Ujgire sir can vouch for it. I had decent marks in engineering also, but I didn't like that job. It was difficult to go to work every day. I would get up in the morning and I had to push myself to go to work. So if you don't like your job, it's time to change that job. And I understand you may have some reasons, you may have certain financial constraints that is stopping you from doing that, but you have to get innovative about it. If you're not happy with what you're doing, you will not be able to keep anyone happy. It can be your wife, it can be your husband, it can be your parents, it can be your siblings, anyone. If you are not happy, you can't give happiness to anyone else. It's the biggest learning that I have got in the last 10 years. For you to make others happy, you yourself have to be happy. That's what I would like to say to this question.
Okay. There is the next question. Jasmine has asked that she is confused to select the job or work in own projects.
So can you please repeat the question?
Yes. Jasmine has asked, she is confused to select job or work in own projects.
See, if you're confused, I would again go back to the slide of purpose. What's your purpose in life? And the purpose can right now be very simple also. My purpose in life is to earn 1 lakh rupees a month. That might be not one of the greatest purposes of all time, but yeah, that's a purpose. If you have a purpose, that purpose will give you an answer in terms of what you want to do. Whether you want to do a job, whether you want to do a work, whether you want to work on your projects. That's something that you will only get answer if you do that exercise of sitting down, reflecting back in your career, in your life for the last 10, 15 years, seeing what are those occasions. Like there are certain occasions in our lives that all of us remember, right? What are those occasions that gave you goosebumps? It can be like participating in a debate and winning that debate. And that debate gave you goosebumps when you got that award. It's time to write that down and say that I felt that I have accomplished something when I won that award. Or it can be as trivial or not trivial, as small as saying that I participated in a cricket competition, and when I hit that winning run for my team, or when I got that wicket for my team, I got those goosebumps. So all those critical moments in your life when you felt validated or when you felt fulfilled, if you write them down and you think back and say that this is how they made me feel, you will get an answer in terms of what you have to do. So find your purpose for you to figure out what you really want to become in your life, whether you want to do job or you want to concentrate on special projects.
That's great. So shall we go to the next question?
Yep.
Okay. So
Yes, sir.
Shrusti is asking that, sir, what are your views on someone who is trying for higher studies in foreign universities?
So if you're trying for higher studies in foreign university, sorry, sir, I didn't get the second part.
Okay, I request the audience to mute your speaker. I request the audience to mute your speaker.
Everyone, if you can please mute your speakers because I'm not able to get the question.
Sir, there is one more question. This question is from Shivani. Can you hear?
Yes, sir, I can.
What if I get a job but still confused to go ahead with it or focus on a next education?
Okay. So if you get a job and you want to focus on the next education, that's okay. But what I would like to say is that if you are very sure that you want to go for higher studies, I would request you to do it earlier in life. And that's coming from someone who spent 3 years in a job and then decided to do an MBA. And there's a reason that I would say that to do higher education earlier only. Trust me, in this world, there is always someone who's more younger and more hungrier than you in life. Okay, we all have 40 years of working life, right? If you and that 40 years, if you spend 2-3 years, which is around 10% of that time spending or doing something that you don't like, you are wasting those years. Okay, if you are very sure that that's now something that you want and you want to go for higher education, my personal recommendation, and I'm no expert on this, my personal recommendation would be to do it at a younger age. In India, in US or in Europe, there's a trend where people get some work experience before they do an MBA because there is some validation or there is some sort of link between the work they have done and the education that they are trying to take. In India, unfortunately, 80% of the jobs that you do after completing a BTech are service-based industry jobs, which is a TCS, Infosys, Wipro, all of that. And when you do an MBA or when you do an MS, there is very little sort of linkage between what you have done in your jobs and what you are studying in that MBA program or in that MS program. So at least in Indian context is what I believe, going for higher education at a young age or immediately after college would be a better thing. Things may evolve in the next 10 to 15 years, but as of now, we are not at the same pace that what US and Europe are, because when they go out and do a job, they get a very varied experience. They don't only work in a service-based industry, they work in product-based companies. They work in manufacturing setups. So there's a great linkage in terms of what they have learned in the 2-3 years of their work experience, and then when they do an MBA or MS. But my recommendation would be to do it young, at a very young age and very early in your career, whatever the higher education you want to pursue.
Okay, that's great. Sir, I'll repeat the question. The next question is from Srushti. Srushti has asked, Sir, what are your views on someone who is trying for higher studies in foreign universities?
Okay, in foreign universities, if you are applying, that's great. That's good to hear. But I would also like you to be cognizant of when you apply for a foreign university, the education cost is extremely high. If you are applying to a US university or a Europe university, you end up spending around 40 lakhs, 30 lakhs, 50 lakhs, bare minimum. If you have those resources and you have sufficient money to take care of that, please go ahead. The quality of education outside is pretty good. And I'm taking nothing away from Indian institutes. But if you have that much amount of money and you have those resources, you should definitely go for it. However, you should also be cognizant of the times that we are living in. With the entire Corona thing happening and colleges in US, Europe shutting down, it may take some time to revive economy in particular, right? Europe is completely broken down. US is almost going through a recession with so many deaths happening. The only two countries which will have a positive GDP growth right now will be only India and China. So I would also like you to understand the fact that in the next 1 year or 2 years, when you pass out from those colleges, you would need a job to pay back loans or whatever. So also take a very conscious call. If you're getting through top universities, which are the top 5 universities in US or Europe, please go ahead. But don't settle down and take a foreign university just because it's a foreign university. If you're getting into University of California or you're getting to a London School of Business, Kellogg's, go ahead and do that. But don't settle down and go to any foreign university just because it's in US and it's somewhere in interiors or Texas or whatever. Don't make that mistake.
That's great. That's great. Kushal, my chat window is full of with the questions. It's almost full with the question. So we'll take due to the time limitations. I'll take last 2 questions. So there's a question from Jinay. Jinay has asked that, Sir, suppose we have an idea to start the business, but we don't have any financial support or funding from any resource. So what should we do to overcome this problem?
Okay, that's a very good question. I would like to answer this. Gone are the days that you needed enough bank balance to have a successful business. These are not those days. This is not 70s and 80s where you need your father's money to run a great company, or your mother's money for that matter. Let me not be very patriarchal here. You don't need your parents' money here to become a great entrepreneur. All you need, and I've said this earlier also, all you need is a great idea. We are living in a world where there are venture capitalists, where there are industries ready to fund great ideas. If you have a great idea that is exceptionally brilliant and that solves a problem, for all those people who want to become an entrepreneur, I want you to answer yourself a question. What are you trying to solve? If you are trying to build a new iPhone, it is a cumbersome journey. You may end up building a new iPhone, but that product already exists. What is the problem, that statement that you're trying to solve is the question that you need to answer when you are trying to become an entrepreneur. If you can answer that question, that is what you should do, and money will come. If you have a great idea, trust me, there are people who are willing to invest crores in a great idea. So don't worry about money. If you come from a humble background, if you have parents who come from middle class, that should not be a problem. Idea is the main differentiator. And the second thing that you should be able to solve, what is the problem statement you're solving? Who could have imagined Swiggy becoming a $6 billion company? What are they doing? They are just getting you your food from a restaurant to your home. They're a $6 billion company today. So idea is what matters. Money doesn't.
That's great. We will go to the last question, and it's really a funny question.
Sure.
Someone has asked that, sir, which jobs are best in future?
See, I am not a Jyotishi, so I really can't comment on that. But if you ask me honestly, in my personal opinion, any job which involves technology or any job which involves analytics will be there to stay. Other than that, a lot of people fear that AI, artificial intelligence, will replace most of our jobs. That will not happen. If you are someone who is great at communication, if you are someone who has a good sense of humor, nobody can replace you. If you're a good orator, nobody can replace you. If you're a good coder, nobody can replace you. If you have a great idea, nobody can replace you. So there's nothing called as safe jobs anymore. Okay? All of us need to upskill ourselves every year, because jobs will change. We are living in a time where certain jobs will become redundant and certain jobs will become very important. Okay? So it's important for us to understand that just because we are out of college, we can't stop learning. Every year you should take up a new certification and do it, even after your college passing out from college. So no, you can't be under the pretext of saying that any job is safe. Jobs will evolve. That is the future that we are living in.
Okay, that's great. That's great. Thank you, Kushal. Now it's time for concluding remark. So it is my great privilege to provide a vote of thanks. At the outset, I would like to express my sincere thanks to Honorable Principal, Vice Principal for their constant support and encouragement. I would like to extend my heartiest thanks to today's keynote speaker, Mr. Kushal Bhatt, for his valuable time in spite of his professional commitments. I'm also thankful to our Training and Placement Officer, Mr. Vinit Devre, who is one of the presenter of this webinar, for his valuable thoughts on this topic. I'm also thankful to our head of the department, Dr. V.R. Sonone, Professor Santosh Jadhav, Professor Dheeraj Bidari, and all the faculties of IT department who helped me day in and day out to organize this webinar. Big thanks to all the faculties and students from various institutes for their enthusiastic and overwhelming response. Last but not the least, I'm also thankful to my family members, my daughters, my wife, my parents, who sacrificed my quality time during the organization of this webinar. Thanks a lot, everyone. I would like to inform the participant that they will receive the certificate of webinar in next 24 hours to their registered email ID. I request you all in the feedback that will be shared in the follow-up email. With this note, I would like to end this meeting. I'm again thankful to today's keynote speaker, Mr. Kushal Bhatt, for giving us his valuable and this time. Thanks a lot, sir. I would like to hand over to the Vinit Devre sir. Vinit Devre sir, can you please give your concluding remark?
Yeah. Thank you. Once again, Kushal sir, thank you so much for the precious information. Basically, the students really need this kind of information. We keep on talking to them, but then again, it really helps when a person like you from industries do come back and do try to help and guide us with this. Not only the students, but also us, is because every now and then we do face the same challenges. What kind of job or what kind of profile or what kind of package? So we are very much clear about, and again, the very utmost important point which I will take away today from this session is going to be the difference between the job and the career. So thank you so much for your time, and hope you would also have such sessions in future too. Thanks for your time. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
100%. And for anyone who has any questions that I have not been able to answer, please reach out to me on LinkedIn and send me a connection request. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions. Ping me on LinkedIn. I will have some time over the weekend. I can answer any questions that you have on LinkedIn also. You can find me also on an email ID of buttkushal@gmail.com. So any questions that you have, I'm more than happy to answer that I was not able to take up today.
Sir, participants, they have requested that they want today's presentation. So after the end of this webinar, I will share this presentation, today's presentation. And of course, sir,
Sure.
we need your cooperation in future too. I'm looking forward long technical bonding with you as well as with the ECHO also. Thanks a lot. I hope all the audience, they have enjoyed this webinar. With this note, I will end this session. Thank you so much. Stay safe and take care.
Thank you everyone. Thank you.
Thank you,
sir. Thank you everyone. Stay safe.
Stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.